Imagine a world without carbon. No plants, no animals, no humans, no life at all. That's because carbon is the essential building block of life on Earth. Carbon cycle is a natural process that circulates carbon between the atmosphere, oceans, land, and living organisms. It is essential for life on Earth, providing the building blocks for all organic molecules including carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Plants use carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to photosynthesize, creating food for themselves and oxygen for other organisms. Animals and other things eat the plants, incorporating the carbon into their bodies. When plants and animals die, their bodies are decomposed by microorganisms, releasing the carbon back into the atmosphere, soil, and water. The carbon cycle also includes geological processes such as the weathering of rocks and the formation of fossil fuels. Over millions of years, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere is absorbed into rocks and sediments. Fossil fuels are formed from the remains of ancient plants and animals buried and compressed under rock layers. The natural relationship between the carbon cycle and air is delicate. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that traps heat in the atmosphere. This helps to regulate the Earth's temperature, making it habitable for life. But what if this balance between the air and carbon cycle becomes disrupted?
In our ever-evolving world, human interactions and society are constantly shaped by the rapid advancements in technology. These changes are not just convenient, rather they are becoming a necessary adaptation for humans to thrive in a modern age. But have we ever wondered how our relentless pursuit of progress, driven by capitalism and technology, might be leaving a carbon footprint on our planet, ultimately disrupting the carbon cycle? As we embark on the journey of the carbon cycle, we shall also recognize the interaction of human beings with these processes and ecosystems of the world. Unfortunately, the world is currently experiencing drastic stresses that adversely affect the naturally occurring balanced interaction of the carbon cycle with the air. These can be attributed to the rise of humans' inevitable increase of carbon footprint. Due to the relentless pursuit of progress of today's capitalist system, which harnesses the power of technology to advance society, particularly the use of fossil fuels. Human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, have led to the increased carbon dioxide emissions, impacting the relationship between the air and the carbon cycle. The excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere acts as a greenhouse gas, trapping heat and contributing to global warming as well as climate change. These changes can have epigenetic consequences on various organisms and affected ecosystems. For example, higher temperatures can trigger changes in gene expression in some species, affecting their survival and reproduction. This can lead to altered phenotypes and adaptations over time in response to changing environmental conditions.
Imagine an ecosystem as a finely tuned orchestra. Each species has its role, playing a harmony, ensuring the whole system thrives. But now, picture an unwelcome guest, the invasive species. These are organisms that don't naturally belong to a particular habitat, and they're sneaking in uninvited. How do they manage to infiltrate these ecosystems? Often, it's us, humans, who unwittingly provide them with a free ride through global travel, trade, or sometimes even as pets. But why is this a cause of concern? These invasive species are like ecological disruptors. They're the party crashers in the finely tuned orchestra of nature. Invasive species, with their unique advantages, can swiftly outcompete native species, stealing their resources, homes, and even their food, as if they barged into the orchestra, playing their own tune, leaving others in disarray. The good news is, we can help. we need to understand the impact of invasive species and work together to manage and control them. It's like restoring the harmony in our ecological orchestra. Learning about invasive species and their roles in ecosystem disruption is the first step towards becoming stewards of our planet. Together, we can protect our ecosystem and the diversity of life on Earth.
Epigenetics is the study of how our genes are regulated without changing the underlying DNA sequence. This can happen through a variety of mechanisms such as DNA methylation, histone modifications, and non coding RNAs. In fact, environmental factors such as diet, stress, and exposure to pollutants can all influence our epigenetic landscape. Well, human activities can have a wide range of epigenetic consequences. So for example, exposure to air pollution has been linked to changes in DNA, methylation, and histone modifications in the lungs. This can lead to inflammation and an increased risk of developing respiratory diseases such as asthma and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Another example is the epigenetic consequences of maternal diet. Studies have shown that mothers who eat a diet high in processed foods and low in nutrients have children with different DNA methylation patterns than mothers who eat a healthy diet. In fact, these changes can persist into adulthood and they even increase the risk of developing chronic diseases such as obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Apparently, it is really concerning. Well, one of the most important things that we could do is to reduce our exposure to environmental pollutants. This means we have to avoid smoking, we have to eat a healthy diet, and we have to exercise regularly. We should also try to reduce our stress levels and get enough sleep. It's also important to be aware of the potential epigenetic consequences of our lifestyle choices. For example, pregnant women should eat a healthy diet and avoid exposure to pollutants to protect their developing babies.
Today, I urge each and every one of you to join hands in the efforts to mitigate the destructive effects of this imbalance. Here's the good news. We can take action, and we can do it now. By promoting the use of renewable resources such as wind, solar, and hydroelectric power, we can significantly reduce the CO2 or carbon dioxide emissions. You, me, and everyone, yes, everyone can be part of these initiatives. Each small step contributes to restoring the balance of our planet. Join the movement for a balanced planet. The time to act is now. Together, we can make a difference, and together, we can store the harmony of our world. Thank you for taking part of this vital journey.